Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya Jaya Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jai Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Stotra Sata Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Pratishtata Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Stotra Sata Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad जय विष्णुपाद परमं साक्षात वैराग्य मूर्ति साक्षात वैराग्य मूर्ति गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस वैष्णव सर्वम जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य सलदास ठाकुर की जय जय श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ सड़गो स्वामियों की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 21 and Text 30. We'll recite together the text and read translation and purport given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. दोहित्रादिनृते मृत्यो शोच्यान् धर्म विमोहितान् वर्गस्वर्गापवर्गानां प्रायेणैकात्महेतुना दोहित्रादिनृते मृत्यो शोच्यान् धर्म विमोहितान् वर्गस्वर्गापवर्गानां प्रायेणैकात्म्यहेतुना दैहित्रादिनृते मृत्यो शोच्यान् धर्म विमोहितान् वर्गस्वर्गापवर्गानां प्रायेणैकात्महेतुना. What is happened? Okay. 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 So some problem is there. So you can read. Take this Bhagavatam to him. दोहित्रानुते मृत्यु शोच्यान् धर्म विमोहितान् वर्ग स्वर्ग परगानां. Okay, so we'll continue today. सोहित्रादिनृते मृत्यो शोचान् धर्म विमोहितान् पवर्गानां प्रायेणैकात्महेतुना. तो दोहित्रादिनृते मृत्यो शोचान् धर्म विमोहितान् वर्ग स्वर्गापवर्गानां प्रायेणैकात्म्यहेतुना दोहित्रादिनृते मृत्यो शोचान् धर्म विमोहितान् प्रायेणैकात्म्यहेतुना दोहित्रादिनृते मृत्यो शोच्यान् धर्म विमोहितान् वापवर्गानां prayenaikatma hetuna. Word to word meaning, Dohitra Adin, grandson like my father, Vena, Rite, except, Mrityu, of personified death, Sochan, abominable, Dharma Vimohitan, bewildered on the path of religion, Varga, religion, economic development, sense gratification and liberation, Swarga, elevation to the heavenly planet, Apavargam, being freed from material contamination, Prayena, almost, always, Eka, one, Atmya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hetuna, on account of. Translation. Although abominable persons like my father Vena, the grandson of death personified, are bewildered on the path of religion, all the great personalities like those mentioned agree that in this world the only bestower of the benedictions of religion, economic development, sense gratification, liberation, or elevation to the heavenly planets is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please repeat. Although abominable persons like my father Vena, the grandson of death personified, are bewildered on the path of religion. All the great personalities, like those mentioned, agree that in this world, the only bestower of the benediction of religion, economic development, sense gratification, liberation, or elevation to the heavenly planets is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ji ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki jai. Purport. King Vena, the father of Prithu Maharaj, was condemned by the Brahmanas and saintly persons because of his denying the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and rejecting the method of satisfying him by a performance of Vedic sacrifice. In other words, he was an atheist who did not believe in the existence of God and who consequently stopped all Vedic ritualistic ceremonies in his kingdom. Prithu Maharaj considered King Vena's character abominable because Vena was foolish regarding the execution of religious performance. So, atheists are of the opinion that there is no need to accept the authority of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be successful in religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. According to them, dharma or religious principles are meant to establish an imaginary God to encourage one to become moral, honest, and just so that the social orders may be maintained in peace and tranquility. Furthermore, they say that actually there is no need to accept God for this purpose. For if one follows the principles of morality and honesty, that is sufficient. Similarly, if one makes nice plans and works very hard for economic development, automatically the result of economic development will come. Similarly, sense gratification also does not depend on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For if one earns enough money by any process, one will have sufficient opportunity for sense gratification. Insofar as liberation is concerned, they say that there is no need to talk of liberation because after death everything is finished. Prithu Maharaj, however, did not accept the authority of such a theist, headed by his father, who was the grandson of death personified. Generally, a daughter inherits the quality of her father and son gets the quality of his mother. Thus, Mrityu's daughter, Sunita, got all the qualities of her father and Vena inherited the qualities of his mother. A person who is always subjected to the rules and regulations of repeated birth and death cannot accommodate anything beyond materialistic ideas. Since King Vena was such a man, he did not believe in the existence of God. Modern civilization agrees with the principles of King Vena, but factually, if we scrutinizingly study all the conditions of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, we must accept the principles of the authority of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. According to Vedic literature, religion consists only of the codes of law given by God. If one does not accept the authority of the Supreme Godhead in matters of religion and morality, one must explain why two persons of the same moral standard achieve different results. It is generally found that even if two men have the same moral standards of ethics, honesty, and morality, their positions are still not the same. Similarly, in economic development, it is seen that if two men work very hard day and night, still the results are not the same. One person may enjoy great opulence without even working, whereas another person, although working very hard, does not even get two sufficient meals a day. Similarly, in the matter of sense gratification, sometimes one who has sufficient food still not happy in his family affairs, or sometimes is not even married, whereas another person, even though not economically well off, has the greatest opportunity for sense gratification. Even an animal like a hog or a dog may have greater opportunities for sense gratification than a human being. Aside from liberation, even if we consider only the preliminary necessities of life, dharma, artha, and kama, religion, economic development, and sense gratification, we will see that they are not the same for everyone. Therefore, it must be accepted that there is someone who determines the different standard. In conclusion, not only for liberation must one depend on the Lord, but even for ordinary necessities in this material world, Prithu Maharaj therefore indicated that in spite of having rich parents, children are sometimes not happy. Similarly, in spite of valuable medicine administered by a competent physician, sometimes a patient dies, or in spite of having a big safe boat, sometimes a man drowns. We must thus struggles to counteract impediments offered by material nature, but our attempts cannot be successful unless we are favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vanchakal Om Ajnanatimirandasya Dhyananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayati girim yat kripatamaham vande Srugurudvinatarinam Paramanam. Hare Krishna. So, I seek blessings from all the Vaishnavas sitting especially His Grace Anandmay Prabhu, to speak on the topic today. And here we are seeing that the chapter entitled Instructions by Prithu Maharaj, a king instructing his praja. So, we see that he continued with the last sloka also, because here it says that all the great personality like those mentioned, means in the previous sloka, all the great personalities' names are mentioned. They were Manu, Uttanapad, Dhruva, Priyavarta, and my grandfather Anga, as well as by many other great personalities and ordinary living entity, exemplified by Maharaj Prahlad and Bali, all of whom are theists, believing in the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who carries a club. This is what there are now. The discussion is going on between one who are theist and one atheist also. So, how to establish what is who is correct, theist or atheist actually? Whereas his father himself is atheist. So, what to do? Because his grandfather is theist, Anga, and father Vena is atheist. So, we see here, because Dohitra, he says, Dohitra means Vena, Dohitra the Nrite Mrityu. He was the Vena, his father, Vena was grandson of Mrityu, personified Mrityu. Mrityu is also having form. So, and his daughter Sunita, and her son Vena. So Prabhupada explains here nicely. So, but how this Vena, who is the son of Anga, got all this type of qualities, atheistic qualities actually, not believing in the existence of God actually. Whereas his grandfather, his Vena's grandfather, Anga, was theist actually. How it happened? So, it says here, Prabhupada explained, a person, generally a daughter inherits the qualities of her father and a son gets the qualities of his mother. He is son of Sunita. His mother is Sunita. So he inherited the qualities of his mother. But the daughter is, Sunita's father is Mrityu. So he is atheist. Means those who are, means is Mrityu personified. So he got all the qualities of his grandfather, Mrityu, in this way. So, and Vena inherited the qualities of mother. So what is that? A person who is always subjected to rule and regulations of repeated birth and death cannot accommodate anything beyond materialistic ideas. This is the sum and substance of this. What is the that we are discussing is grandson of Mrityu. Because Mrityu means they want Mrityu to come again and again and then again and then again, and that birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. That is what they follow. So that is what Prabhupada is saying, a person who is always subjected to the rules and regulations of repeated birth and birth cannot accommodate anything beyond materialistic ideas. This is what is that Vena was there actually. And this way he became the complete atheist actually. And Prabhupada says, Prithu Maharaj considered King Vena's character abominable because Vena was foolish. So, A person is foolish is also abominable. Abominable is very, uh, even there is a foolishness, then we are called, means we are moving towards atheism. It's the beginning of atheism if we are foolish. Not yet complete atheism, that we'll discuss later on when we on complete discussion. So we have to see this is the beginning of. And Vena was not only foolish, he was rebellious. This is what we will discuss about so many mentalities. One is called foolish mentality, and he was not only foolish, he was rebellious. He was having rebellious mentality. That's why he is abominable. So Chan, it says, abominable. So, and then what happens once atheists are of the opinion that there is no need to accept the authority. That is the beginning of foolish mentality is, now I don't want authority. That's the beginning of atheism and leads to challenging the authority, rebellious mentality. Not accepting the authority and challenging the authority. In between, there is a development of atheism, actually. So, accept the authority of Supreme Personality of Godhead to be successful. Then, once this type of person becomes a king, he has to rule. Rule means varga, he says, because we are living in varga. And there is a swarga and there is a apavarga. It is called pavarga, also be called. Then swarga and apavarga. Apavarga, Vaikuntha Loka. Now we are not going detailing discussion on this. So from apavarga, which has 4 divisions, varga. All these details are there. So what are the outcome of this varga? So, but here everyone is trying to be happy, and the varga are there. Varga is how one can become happy with religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. These 4 things are there. So, atheistic person, what they smartly avoid religion. How they consider religion, we'll see. And they go for economic development, sense gratification. So here Prabhupada explained that. Even how they consider religion is now. According to them, dharma or religious principles are meant to establish an imaginary God. Because they are not accepting the supreme authority, supreme personality. So what they have to do? They have to create some imaginary ideas. Oh, this Sunya, some Nirakar, because something to be there. So, as for them, Dharma is something other than the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, actually. But the thing is that once and they think that religion means only morality and honesty. One has to be moral. Why we need all these things? We don't need all Shastra. If one is moral, one is honest, then there is nothing. We don't need. It happened with Prabhupada also. Once he met with some, I heard this, with Arya Samaji and like that. Why we need God? If we are moral, if we are honest, then everything is right. There is the following. Prabhupada says, without Supreme Lord, there is no morality, no honesty. That is what Prabhupada's answer was, actually. So, and just so that the social order may be maintained. Because there is no morality, honesty, all chaos happens. So, to control. Because Vena, even though he is atheist, he has to see that people should follow something. But what is there then? They create imaginary God and they assume themselves as God, actually. This is the image. Why they create? Because they want themselves to be God actually. So there is no need to. And for if one follows the principle of morality, that is sufficient, enough. Not accepting the authority. That is the start of foolish mentality. Similarly, one makes nice plans and works very hard for economic development. Automatically, the result of economic development, then work hard. These are all karmis. Are not karmis, vikarmis actually. These are called vikarmis. Explanation about that. Development will come. Do work is worship. That is slogan for vikarmis actually. Similarly, sense gratification also does not depend on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For if one earns enough money, by any process, one will have sufficient opportunity for sense gratification. What is the next? Is following dharma. And the next is economic development. Because with the principles of morality and honesty, not in the proper manner, not accepting the supreme authority, and then what is the next? Sense gratification. And when you work hard, you'll get money, enjoy it, become happy. That is what? For sense gratification, one will have sufficient opportunity. That is what the pleasure of this material world. Power. When we go for power, parishram, bhai, mrityu, it comes supa, fa, ba, bha, parishram, pa, fa, fain. They have to hard work. Bandhan, then bha, bhai, and last mrityu, because he is the grandson of mrityu. He will follow pa, 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 like this only. This is the Varga system. Varga is this. So this is the one way of following it actually. So insofar as liberation, last part is there, liberation, they say that there is no need to talk of liberation because after death everything is finished. That is what conclusion. They will merge in the impersonal and there is nothing is there because ultimately they have usurped the authority from Lord and they have become the God actually, Lord actually. This is the atheistic mentality actually. Prithu Maharaj, however, did not accept the authority of such atheist. He is criticizing his father also. Whereas he is glorifying his grandfather Anga. Is a C. Same, he is coming in the same lineage actually. We can see how Prahlad is the son of Hiranyakashipu also. So he headed by his father who was the grandson of death personified. So what is Prabhupada saying? A person who is always subjected to the rules and regulations of repeated birth and death cannot accommodate anything beyond they become narrow-minded people actually. They cannot understand the universality or so because they are completely absorbed in sense gratification, they cannot think beyond that actually. They think that is the pleasure, that's why. So, since King Vena was such a man, he did not believe in the existence of God. So, similarly, Prabhupada compares the Vena's mentality with the modern civilization. What is modern civilization? Modern civilization agree with the principles of King Vena. That's all. What is the religion? Honesty, morality. Then economic development, work on these principles. Imaginary. Religion means there's some imaginary, they create some energy, something. It's there, so many things are. Divine power. It's also a creation of God, actually, divine power. So like that. So then what happens with this religion? Economic development, do with morality and honesty. That's the economic development. Then work hard, enjoy sense gratification, be happy. That is called slogan is a drink, eat, or marry, and then be happy, like this sense gratification. But factually, but this is not the fact. If we scrutinizingly study all the conditions of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, we must accept the principles of the authority of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is called scrutinizingly studying. What is this world? What for this creation is there? Who we are, and what is why we are again and again dying? What is the birth, death, old age, disease? So many questions. Why I am suffering here? All these, if we scrutinizingly study, then so. According to Vedic literature, religion consists only of the codes of law given by the God. That's all. So, what is that? First, one has to clearly understand what is religion is there. So, what is actually dharma tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. That is the first principle. If you don't accept, then everything is, now we will be going on wrong track actually. We can say opposite track actually. And also we say varna asrama charavata purushen parha puman Vishnu aradyate pantha anyat posha karanam. The purpose of varna asrama is this only, to give the pleasure to the Vishnu. So these atheists, they do not believe in existence, personal, or they do not believe in existence, personal, or they do not believe in personal form of God. Both are atheists. They are called pseudo-atheists actually, those who are not believing in the form actually. So Vena and modern civilizations are like Vikarmis, and so they do not depend on being. What I want, I will take. That's the point actually. They become themselves the God actually. So now Prabhupada in the next para start in different way. Here he has given the fundamentals. Dharma tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Now he is going logically and reasoning. First he has established the dharma. This is the brilliance of Prabhupada actually. He mixed with the scriptural essence with the reasoning and logics, both together. So person who is reading with logical and reasoning mind also, he believes yes what he is saying. He believes yes what he is saying. And at the same time he is also reading the conclusion of Shastra. So when he is reading, his belief also transferred to that also. That is called very brilliance way of presenting the scripture writing. So what is? Therefore, he says, if one does not accept the authority of the Supreme Godhead in matters of religion morality, one must explain. So he wants to give challenge to the atheistic people. They should explain why two persons of the same moral standard achieve different results. They have to give, then it becomes very challenging. He is giving challenge to the atheist actually. And he is giving answer. It is generally found that even if two men have the same moral standard of ethic, honesty and morality, their positions are still not the same. That's why people are becoming immoral or dishonest to catch up to those who are following in the morality and honesty. That's why this Kali Yuga is progressing with the immorality and dishonesty. This is the Kali Yuga actually. Similarly, in economic development, he has explained now about religion, economic development. It is seen that if two men work very hard day and night, still the results are not the same. Explain why. Prabhupada give answer. One person may enjoy, explaining, one person may enjoy a great opulence without even working, whereas another person, although working very hard, does not even get 2 sufficient meals a day. Same. A hamal, a labor is working whole day. He's getting 2 meals a day. But person sitting on chairs is enjoying everything actually. What is the economic? Hard work is there. He is working harder than the person who is sitting on the chairs on comfort level. But he is enjoying a lot actually. Similarly, in the matter of sense gratification, sometimes one who has sufficient food is still not happy in his family affairs, or sometimes is not even married, whereas another person, even though not economically well off, has the greatest opportunity for sense gratification. So, even person are having sufficient food, still they are not happy. Person not having sufficient food, they are happy. They are getting good sleep in the night. Person having all comforts and that, they have to take sleeping pills for sleep. That is what is happening actually. Even an animal like a hog or a dog may have greater opportunity, and the hog or dog, they are in the house of such a persons, rich persons, they are enjoying much more than what the even person who are not getting 2 times a meals. They are much more, we can say, fortunate to enjoy. So aside from liberation, even if we consider only the preliminary necessity of life, dharma, artha, kama, that is religion, economic development and sense development, we'll see that they are not the same for everyone. He's keeping that liberation side. Okay, even for necessities of life, there is no, no 2 persons are equal. We see actually. So that means, therefore it must be accepted. That's the conclusion Prabhupada is giving. He is giving logic and reasoning. First he has established dharma, Bhagavat Sakshat, Bhagavat Pranitam, that, and therefore it must be accepted there is someone who determines the different standards. While birth itself, there is a difference. One get birth in poor family, one get birth in rich family. There is a difference. In conclusion, not only for liberation must one depend on the Lord, but even for ordinary necessities in this material world. So only not for liberation. Suppose if we are coming, Lord, okay, get it free from all our sufferings, and this is not. Even for necessities also, we need Lord actually. Because all things are controlled, called, not only controlled, He is protecting, He is maintaining, He is creating, everything He is only doing actually. Creation, maintenance, protection, all these things are there. So Prithu Maharaj therefore indicated that in spite of having rich parents, children are sometimes not happy. Similarly, in spite of valuable medicine administered by a competent physician, sometimes a patient dies, you see. Or in spite of having a big safe boat, sometimes a man drowns. Prahlad Maharaj says this. We may thus struggle to counteract impediments offered by material nature. So this is called unnecessary struggle. If you don't accept the authority, we have to struggle. Even Lord Krishna says, Manasasthani indriyani prakriti-sthani karshati. We have to struggle here because we are with mind and 5 senses. But there is a necessary struggle, there is unnecessary struggle. Klesodikatarastesam avyakta sakta chetasam. But our attempts cannot be successful. Do whatever we try with atheistic idea, but will not be successful unless we are favored by the Supreme Personal. Because ultimately His control prevails. That is there. So now I'll take some more time to explain this in totality actually. Anandmay Prabhu? Okay. So we are now seeing atheist and theist. No, not only atheist and theist. There is atheist, pseudo-atheist. Theist and pseudo-theist and real theist. That we have to see. It's a very broad category is there. So, and we also see there is a theological society is there. But that is not giving complete, not real theist. But some ideas of theism is there. Actually, there is one authority is there. That is the idea is there actually. So large variety here we see. Either atheists are also not so many. Many are pseudo-atheist or many are pseudo-theist. This is the actually are there. So because they don't know complete truth, they are living with partial truth. Some are they are themselves creating the truth. That is a pseudo-atheist actually. But here Prithu Maharaj is a Saktyavesa avatar. He is establishing complete truth. No pseudo-theism, no atheism, no pseudo-atheism, only real theism. That is what Saktyavesa avatar is doing. Now we analyze what Prabhupada says. He says why Vena is foolish regarding the execution of religious. And he says one side foolish, one side he says is abominable foolish. That is why the mentality, what a person, when we start foolish mentality, it develops into separatist mentality, selfish mentality, self-centered mentality, fruitive mentality, doership mentality, envious mentality, and then become rebellious mentality. This is the development of atheism actually happens. These are the mentality. Even with a foolish mentality, we are separating from Lord, then that is called separatist mentality. And with that selfish mentality develops. With that selfish mentality, self-centered mentality, we become egoistic personality. And with this self-centered personality, then one develops fruitive mentality. Completely wants to enjoy here. That is called fruitive mentality. And he is completely bewildered. He says, no. Sochyan dharma vimohitan. Not mohitan. Vimohitan. Completely bewildered. Complete bewilderment is there. Then we develop doership. When I want to maintain my sense gratification, somehow or other, I want to control. I declare that I am the doer because I am the doer and I have to enjoy my fruits. That's what doership mentality. And if anybody is coming in between, I become envious. Envious mentality development. And if suppose with that envy, I can become cruelty. And then that is called, and all types of sin I can perform. That is called rebellious mentality. So we see this world is not of, this world is, one thing is sure, foolish mentality is prevailing. Foolish mentality is prevailing. But along with this foolish mentality goes up to this level actually. So, because we have 4 defects, Brahma, Pramada, Karnapatva, Vipralipsa. We get bewildered, then we do mistakes, Karnapatva become, our senses are imperfect, and Vipralipsa, this is the quality which is called Kapatta, cheating mentality develops. We want to cheat others, to go ahead with others actually. And we want to maintain our positions and all these things are there. So that's why we see what is that difference between the man and human and animal. By what is called ahar, nidra, bhay, maitunam. That's the 4 things are there. One who are only ahar, nidra, maithun, they are following the theistic line, which they sometimes comes to pseudo-theism, but to maintain this only. And because they are fearful, bhaya, that's why they turn to theology. For protecting their fear, or coming out of fear. Because they are fearful of death, fearful of losing that what they acquired, they fearful of that they may lose their sense gratification, all these things there. So, so, but the thing is that now, question is, Prabhupada also says once, actually, we are honest, we are presenting the truth. If we are honest, you will accept the truth. That's all. That is, if one person is simple and honest, he will accept the truth. Because the dishonesty and what is called demorality is prevailing, people are even not actually small truth, that there is a supreme authority. So, the brilliance of Lord Krishna is that he has given the Bhagavad Gita in 700 slokas, and he covered all mentalities, from foolish to rebellious. Asurim bhavam also is there in 16th chapter, so all mentalities are covered. It begins with foolish. It says to Arjuna, Kshudram hridaya dorbalyam tyaktotishta parantapa. That is, you are foolish. Kshudram, foolish mentality. Give up foolish mentality and get up and fight. And speaking from there, he goes up to rebellious mentality in 16th chapter. He covers all mentalities in Bhagavad Gita. And then tell, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam braja. Surrender unto me. Actually, that is called. But because of dishonesty and we are not moral, we don't accept. Because we are not accepting authority, because that we are not accepting authority. And surrender means, and because of that they have become egoistic, self-centered mentality. We don't accept Sarva Dharma. It is, forget about Sarva Dharman. Even if they is saying to do this, that, all so many other for different mentalities addressing, we are not ready actually. So, and Lord saw that Kali Yuga people will not accept. So, what is? He has come with super brilliance idea. What is the brilliance idea? Lord Chaitanya. In the form of Lord Chaitanya. So what is that? Krishna says, I am Chaliya. I cheat others. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come, Chadma Avatar, for cheating us. Because we want to be moral, we want to be honest without Lord, without the authority of the Supreme Lord. Okay, don't do. What you do? You chant this name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Chant it attentively. Chant attentively. He has given such a task that it is like drawing water from a stone. Attentively chanting is like this. It's not so easy because mind is going here, there. So what he has done, he has mixed the logic and reasoning with surrender. That is what he has done. Because people are not what to speak of surrender, not ready to accept the authority. Where is the question of surrender? This is the mixture actually. So he has given, okay, anyhow you have doership mentality, no? Take this. Prove your, what is called, whatever power you are having, prove that you chant it with attentiveness. And when one starts, so what happens? Slowly their heart gets purified. Which he is not ready to surrender and wants to do on their own, he start thinking of why I am not, he get frustrated. Oh, why I am attentively not chanting? And he tries, then because one side is trying with his own egoistic way, as in taking as a challenge, other side that Hare Krishna mantra is purifying his heart. So what is happening? Both things are working now, which is started with his brilliance, medha, because that's why called now intelligent persons think themselves they are very intelligent. Medha. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you are Medhana, become Sumedha. Chant it. Prove it. So with that what happens? Actually all this mentality gets slowly diluted actually. The rebelliousness goes, the enviousness goes, the doershipness goes, the fruity mentality goes, the self-centeredness goes, the selfishness goes, the separatistness goes, and then he has to accept, I am foolish, please save me actually. That to that level he brings, which what Lord Krishna has given in 700 slokas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given only in 8 slokas. In one sloka, he is cheating the cheaters, tranadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahisnuna, amanina manadena, kirtaniya sadahari. Even Prabhupada says, when he went to US, after the establishment of the ISKCON and all these things, he begged to his all devotees, somehow I have cheated you because I have not cheated for myself, only because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has cheated you actually. This is what Prabhupada admits. So Kali Yuga is flourishing by cheating, and Dharma has to be entered in this form, undisguised form. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's brilliance is there. This is what now we'll see how Prithu Maharaj will take it forward. Now we are going to hear. Thank you very much. Sorry for delaying because I want to give some conclusion. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Any remark on this? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय. Nice. Why? You know why?